Ladies and gentlemen, just today, this morning, McConnell digs in on impeachment, non-starter for Pelosi to influence trial. This is The Hill. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell dug in Friday on a stalemate over impeachment, lashing out at Democrats and saying it was a non-starter that Speaker Nancy Pelosi would play any role in determining the trial proceedings. Yes, I like that. McConnell, speaking on impeachment for the first time in nearly 2 weeks, blasted House Democrats as having cold feet after Pelosi declined to say when she would transmit the 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump. Quote, I should do this in my McConnell voice, but we've heard it claimed that the same House Democrats who botched their own process should get to reach over here into the Senate and dictate our process, McConnell said from the Senate floor. Let me clarify Senate rules and Senate history for those who may be confused, McConnell added. First, about this fantasy that the Speaker of the House will get to hand design the trial proceedings in the Senate. That's obviously a non-starter. He goes on to say Pelosi has held the 2 articles saying she wants details about the Senate trial, what the Senate trial would look like. Some House Democrats have argued if they can't get a fair deal on fair rules, including on witnesses and documents, that the articles should never be sent to the GOP-controlled Congress, which, according to Noah Feldman, their hand-picked impeachment witness, Trump isn't even impeached. By the way, I'll get to my thoughts on what everyone's talking about on H.A. Goodman's other channel, so check that out after this segment. You see liberals and Democrats and a lot of progressives desperately trying to paint Trump as now a foreign policy hawk. So when he's removing soldiers from regions of intense conflict, no, my God, you can't do that. That's a rash, irresponsible decision. Even Bernie Sanders says it has to be an orderly withdrawal. Okay, when he's removing soldiers, when he's a non-interventionist president, I'm talking about removing an authoritarian and then just leaving the country into chaos, turmoil, mayhem. That's exactly what President Obama did in Libya. What's taking place right now has no comparison to Libya. Zero. No comparison to Cheney and Rumsfeld and Bush, or to President Obama, Clinton, and Biden with Libya. Zero correlation. Okay? I'll get into it on H.A. Goodman's other channel, but here, Pelosi did not speak to, and we're not going to have a devastating military conflict, protracted military conflict. Then it's not going to happen. Neither country has the money. We don't. They don't. Neither country can achieve any political or military objective from that. There's no single military objective long term that you can achieve. But anyway, Pelosi did not speak to McConnell over the holiday recess. Okay, so then there's another article. So, Chuck Schumer's McConnell's laying down the law, and he's basically like, Pelosi accuses McConnell of doubling down on his violation of his oath on Trump trial. Yeah, right. Today, Leader McConnell made clear that he will feebly comply with President Trump's cover-up of his abuses of power and be an accomplice to that cover-up. See, they use these phrases without knowing what they mean. It can't be a cover-up because there was no criminal act. There's no direct evidence that he withheld military assistance. None. FiveThirtyEight, the Associated Press, there's a whole bunch of articles acknowledging. 2 of them are in the description section. There's no direct evidence. Everything is this circumstantial web. They're weaving this fantasy narrative based on, well, this happened before that happened. Well, then if that's the case, investigate the Clinton Foundation pay to play. It's still operating. UBS, Boeing, 85 donors giving $156 million, and then meeting Clinton. Uranium One, Haiti. You have endless pay-to-play schemes. Endless weapons deals with countries that give money into the Clinton Foundation. They get exponentially greater weapons deals than even Bush's administration. All of this, all the beneficial treatment, there was no quid pro quo there? No quid pro quo at all? Really? And then you get Pelosi saying, "Oh, well, this is a cover-up, and we have to make sure that, we have to make sure that McConnell has a fair Senate trial." Fair, according to them, is Trump being removed. Anything short of that is not fair. But basically, McConnell's like,
"Oh, Nancy, have you heard of the Purple People Leaders? Have you heard of the Iron Curtain Defense? Have you heard of the 85 Bears, Nancy? Wilbur Marshall, Otis Wilson, and Mike Singletary. Have you heard of anything, Nancy, pertaining to the National Football League? Do you watch sports on the 7th level of Dante's Inferno? Your residence? Is there ESPN in Hades? Because, Nancy, you might as well give Gerald Nadler the rock and have him try to do his best sweetness imitation and try to jump up the middle into my defense and see what happens. Okay, you're talking about a millimeter vertical inch, and he ain't going far. And even if he did, we'd have Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens of 2000. What I'm trying to say, Nancy, is you're not going to infiltrate the Senate because you've already messed up the House. You've messed up your house, so to speak. So, we're not allowing you into the Senate because guess what? You're not a senator. So, you try to go ahead and intimidate me, you might as well be trying to intimidate Andre the Giant, because I'm the Andre the Giant of the Senate. Mitch McConnell out.
Ladies and gentlemen, so just today, the same tired shtick, the same, oh my God, you're not going to have a fair Senate trial. We need documents. We need more witnesses. There's no direct evidence. There's no direct evidence. There is absolutely no direct evidence. So they're talking about they're trying to defend, they're trying to make something real that actually is just a fantasy linked to the neuroses of Democrats. Trump doesn't care about Biden. Biden's not Trump's direct political rival. It doesn't matter how much they scream and shout and cover their ears. And Biden stated he's going to be a one-term president. Yeah, that's his words. Just recently told coal miners they need to learn to code. Okay, what an insult. I mean, Twitter actually banned people and prevented people from saying that when journalists were being forced to resign or laid off. But Biden actually tells coal miners to learn to code. Then you have Biden saying that he might pick a Republican vice president. Clinton is going to be nominee. And people say, "Oh, she became a ceremonial, chancellor or dean of a college in Northern Ireland." You mean to tell me that if she becomes a nominee, if indeed she can't become, if indeed she has to remove herself or recuse herself or resign from that post, she won't? So she'll pick the presidency? What? Excuse me. You mean to tell me that Madam Secretary is going to pick a ceremonial position at a university in another country as opposed to being president? So the issue is nothing's going to stop the Clinton machine. It's a political machine that runs the Democratic Party. This is a farce and a charade and a complete scam. If you give money to Bernie Sanders, it eventually will go to Clinton. That is the absolute truth. Biden is not direct political rivals with Trump. That's part of the Democratic Party narrative. Oh, look, we have so many great people here. This is 538. There is at present no single piece of evidence that conclusively links Trump to the Ukraine scandal like the taped transcript of President Nixon ordering the Watergate cover-up. That particular piece of evidence was such a decisive smoking gun that its release forced Nixon's resignation within a matter of days. Democrats' case against Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have one key piece of evidence directly linking Trump to a quid pro quo. Great, brilliant article by Amelia Thompson DeVoe. Brilliant article. There's no direct evidence. No direct evidence. None. So I'm not like the biggest fan of 538, but this is a fantastic article. There's no direct evidence that the Clinton Foundation engaged in pay-to-play because Clinton deleted 30,000 yoga emails, and she had private servers for 4 years where that none of her communication, the deleted emails were not subject to FOIA requests. Notice how they're making a big stink of Trump's unredacted emails. Big deal. Who cares? The issue here, ladies and gentlemen, is that they've impeached the president in the same way that they conducted the Mueller probe, in search of a crime. You don't do that, okay? Watergate was a break-in. Watergate was a break-in. You can even go look at Watergate. Watergate, there were financial crimes there. The Clintons just slithered out of that one and then into a blue dress with Billy. So, it's like, oh my goodness, I've been so investigated. Somebody up there doesn't like me. Oh, what's that? You found out about what? Oh my goodness, you were looking at a real estate scandal. How'd you get into the Oval Office with me and my intern? Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a political machine. The political machine runs on money, networking, and public relations. That's primarily what it runs on. Money, honey. The Clintons are probably the wealthiest people in the world. Why? They're not as wealthy as Bill Gates or, Jeff Bezos. But in a way, they're more wealthy because of their connections, because of their networking, because of who they know in government. Very doubtful that Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, or if they had committed the types of crimes that Clinton committed while she was Secretary of State, would have gotten out of it because if James Comey would have said, "Oh well, you know what? They didn't mean to do it." Okay, she had top secret intelligence. If any tech titan, billionaire, has top secret intelligence from the United States government on servers outside of the United States government, they're going to jail. They're not going to say, well, it was a mistake, which, by the way, even U.S. Code 793F would have indicted Clinton. But they're not going to get out of it. So you can't buy the influence that both Clintons have. Well, mainly Madam Secretary. You can't buy that influence. You have James Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, all of them, Kleinsmith, utilizing a dossier that she purchased. Literally, the evidence utilized against Trump was purchased by his direct political opponent. Biden is not his direct political opponent. That's first and foremost. The impeachment serves as part of the charade. Biden's not going to become nominee because they would lose miserably. Absolutely miserably. And the I Am With Her crowd would be devastated. And they run the political party. Biden right now is conducting a campaign where he's on a high wire. It's like a high wire act. He has to be just atrocious. He can't be too horrendous, but he also has to pretend that he's trying. So he'll say something like, "Oh, I'll have a Republican vice president. Oh, coal miners, even the ones in Pennsylvania that we need, they should learn to code. Oh, I'm just going to be a one-term president and just, hand it off to wonderful liberals that are, what? That's not leadership. The cream should rise to the top, not be pulled up by Biden. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. McConnell has vowed basically not to allow Pelosi any type of influence. And they know what they did. They impeached the president based on no direct evidence. President Zelensky and Poroshenko, his predecessor of Ukraine, stated there was no quid pro quo, no leverage. They have nothing except, well, this happened before that. Well, that's Bill and Hillary's entire lives. This happened before that, and then you heard, you can't prove anything, UBS, Boeing. Weapons deals, 85 donors giving $156 million, 20 of whom gave over $1 million. And then Vox was like, oh yeah, they met with more people, she met with more people, so what? Those 20 people who gave $1 million plus, why did they give $1 million into the Clinton Foundation? Because they had the same value system as the people at UBS who got hooked up with the IRS. They have the same value system as the people at Boeing, the same value system as foreign countries, same value system as Uranium One officials. I mean, they've suspended logic on the left with Clinton, and they're suspicious beyond all rational thought with Trump. And then when they fabricate and make up things with Trump to sweep under the rug the actual crimes of Clinton. Sorry, you cannot own servers with top secret intelligence that are outside of the United States government. You can't do that. Doesn't matter what that imbecile says. Comey, definitely the physically biggest imbecile in American history. He knows very well that what she did jeopardized national security. Even Robert Gates and Michael Hayden, former defense intelligence chief and defense secretary. And they all voted Clinton. All of these people know what she did was horrendous, and they still voted. You can't buy that influence. But see, it's not lasting. Clinton's going to lose to Trump again. This impeachment is fizzling out, and they'll probably impeach Trump again. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. I have a great segment on John Cusack right